Hi, and welcome to the end of July. I have all the books that I read in July and new stat sheets because I'm using the new spreadsheet that Q put out from QWERTY, so for the Her Kid thing. So I will link her down below, and let's go look at what I read. Okay, so we're mostly focused on the books and stuff. The rest of this is just for stat purposes. So I read 25 books in the month of July, which is a little less than what I have been doing, but that's probably normal for me. Like 25 if I'm not pressuring myself, which July was just chill for me. I did not pressure myself, and you'll see that I didn't quite do everything that I wanted to do, but let's look at what I did do first, and then we'll look at what I didn't do. So my first focus was the 100s for Her Kid, and my other focus was the adaptations. So I did finish both of those for the month, which was really good. So you'll see over here that by the 100s and the adaptations are marked for a few of them, and that's because that was the main focus. Then there's a couple of things that I could just fill in with titles and things like that. So if you see anything on here that has a white, like a blank right here, that means I didn't count it for anything. So if you've read this book and you think I could count it for something on Her Kid, please comment below and let me know. I haven't gone through every one of them. I did go through some at the beginning to see if they fit with my quote, but I haven't gone through the ones at the bottom to see if they fit my quote. So I might be able to use some of them there, and I might be able to use some with the colors, but I used one for blue, and blue seems to be a very popular color that I have for my covers. So I already have the main color blue, but not like the teal and the light blue. So anyway, none of that matters. Just keep an eye out if you want to. I would love it. Okay, I read Kings of the Wild and gave it 5 stars. Like, what a way to kick off the month. I loved it so much. I read that for my 100s. Also for the 100s, I read Mama's Boy. I only gave it a 3, which is sad because I really like Avery Flynn. I usually give her books higher ratings than that, but I did not like this one. I did, however, like the next two. The Mistletoe Mystery got 4 stars, and Murder at the Kennan Hotel also got 4 stars. Both of those were part of my 50 Before 50 series. One of the things that I wanted to be able to do was track how many of these books were on my 50 Before 50, how many was I reading for Buzzword or for Aeldia, that kind of stuff. So I actually went through, and there is a second, I hid it, but I guess I need to have it exposed because otherwise you can't see the stats from it, and I definitely want the stats. But I just realized there's something that I didn't put in here because I put this for Buzzword, but this also was for Buzzword. So I added Buzzword, Aeldia, and 50 Before 50, and A House with Good Bones, and The Hollow Places were my Aeldia reads. So I did both of those. I did both my Buzzwords, and look at all these 50 Before 50 books. I didn't give them a color because Q had already gotten all these really colorful colors for everything else, and I was like, I'm just going to leave my extras without a color for right now, but we'll see what it looks like over on the stat page. I don't think it's going to make a difference because I don't think the colors transfer over. Anyway, back up here, I gave both of those, like I said, 4 stars. They're also in my 50 Before 50. And then the Mistborn Secret History got 4.5 stars, and it's also 50 Before 50. Then we dropped down because I read Quicksilver, and I gave it 3 stars. I did not love it. 3 stars was actually pretty generous. I probably should have gone with like 2.5 or 2.75, but I gave it 3. That's what we're going to go with. Then I had a whole list of 4s. 4 is my general, I liked it. There wasn't a ton wrong with it. I liked it. You get a 4. So I read issue number 13 of Saga. I read Small Favor by Jim Butcher and Tilly and the Book Wanderers. That's the Pages and Co book, and they all got 4 stars. Then Roommates by Allison Lind. I'm changing that one because I think I gave it 2 stars on my Goodreads review. I hope I did anyway. I did not enjoy it. Then we have another set of 3 4 stars, and they're all 50 Before 50, which is so good. So A Lesson in Secrets, which is a Maisie Dobbs book. Edge Dancer, which is a Stormlight Archives novella. And then the last J.D. Robb book to get me caught up with the publication date, which was called Bonded in Death. So those 4 stars, fantastic. Then The Road graphic novel was a 5-star. I loved this. It was so good. Then 4 stars for Jane Steele. This was my adaptation of Jane Eyre, but she's a serial killer. It was so good, though. It was way more like a historical fiction to me than it was anything else. Like, just straight up historical fiction. I thought it was really good. Now, another 50 Before 50 book, The Churn, I only gave 3.75 stars. I mean, it was only 60 pages. There's not a lot that could be done. I just didn't enjoy it at all. I read it because I had to. Hook, Line, and Sinker was the next book in the Tessa Bailey series, the Bellinger Sisters series, and I think that's all that's coming out, but I did put it as up to publication date instead of finished because I don't know if any more are coming out. There aren't any more sisters, but maybe somebody else in the town is going to get a book. I don't know. And then System Collapse got me all caught up with Murderbot. It also got me the buzzword for technology on the cover and my 50 Before 50, which was nice. And then I finished out the Greenbone Saga with Jade Legacy. It was such a great book. I really loved it. I loved how it wrapped everything up at the end. I didn't love all the time jumps. So that's the only reason that I took off the 1/2 star. I just didn't, but I don't know another way that it could have been done. It was already long enough. I feel like any more would have just been ridiculous. So 4.5 stars. A House with Good Bones, which was my first T. Kingfisher horror, I'm pretty sure anyway, and it was so good. I just realized again that I really like T. Kingfisher's writing. Maybe I'm going to eventually find something I don't. I mean, in August, I think I'm reading 4 books from them, so I guess I'll find out what I think about their writing for sure, but I really think I like it right now. Then The Enchanted Greenhouse, absolutely adorable. That was my new release for her kid, and I loved it so much, just as much as The Spell Shop. So I gave it 4.5 stars, then 4 stars for Go Luck Yourself. I read The Nightmare Before Christmas is what the first book is called, and I read it when we were doing Wonderthon in June. And so I was in the store and I saw both of them, the first and second book. It just came out in 2025. And I was like, oh, I'm going to grab that. So I read that one too. So good. I liked it so much. It was very cute. So The Nightmare Before Christmas is the son of Santa, the Prince of Christmas, and the Prince of Halloween. And then this book is the heir, or the spare, I guess, of Christmas. His name is Chris. And the Prince of St. Patrick's Day. So this one is set in Ireland. The first book, if you need a book, or if you want a book set in Greenland, go read Nightmare Before Christmas, because that is where Christmas lives, is in Greenland. Okay, then 4.25 stars for The Hollow Places, another T. Kingfisher. Both of those were 5-star predictions for me, and it wasn't quite 5 stars, but they were really, really good. Then Peter Pan. Y'all, the Peter Pan book is disturbing in so many ways. So 2.75 stars, and I feel like that was generous. I probably would have gone lower than that. I was being nice, I guess. And then I rounded out the month with Lights Out. I've been seeing everybody talk about this book. It was on sale at my indie bookstore, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get it so I can see what the hype is about. I liked Butcher and Blackbird better, but I did think this book was similar to that in a lot of ways, and I thought that it was good. Like, I know people have been commenting on other people's things who read this book and enjoyed it, and they're like, oh, so you condone stalking? And I don't, for sure I do not, but I don't know another way to say it other than, hopefully, I don't think this is spoilers, but it was as consensual as something like that could be, and he knew about her preferences before any of that started, and that is her preference. I don't know how to say it more than that, but just read the back of the book. And then if you want to read the book, read the book. If you don't want to read the book, don't read the book. If you've been stalked in real life, I'm so very sorry for that situation. And I understand how difficult it is when you have something in a book that is similar to something you experienced in real life and you just can't understand how other people don't see it as the same thing. But that is definitely not a trigger for me. And so I was like, okay, it's fake. It's not really happening. And it's as consensual as it can be. So I liked it okay. I didn't love it, but it was all right. So that's it. Now let me move, and we're going to look at the stats in the new Her Kid stat page. So I do love this over here. 25 total books. Total number of pages is only 7,000 pages, y'all. I'm getting ready because I'm doubling that in August. Doubling it in August. I'm scared already. Hours listening, 227.86. Divide that by 2 because everything I listen to is at 2 times speed. It says total spent $0. That's not true. I just haven't gone through and found receipts to put in like how much things actually cost me. Average days, 1.71. I don't know what that... Oh, it took me about 1 to 2 days to read every book. I see. My average rating is 3.94. That's not too bad. That's probably the average of what I normally rate things. Average page per book was 307. Average hours, 19. Total points, I'm not keeping up with points because I'm not going to be changing anything out over on Her Kid, so that's going to go away. Most common acquisition year is 2025 because I'm not putting anything in there before that because I don't know when I got books. I'm the worst. And total out of this world, I like that. I read 10 books that are not set in our world. So that was nice. And then the month that the most was read is July because right now it's nothing but July. Let's wait. August is going to blow that out of the water. So these are the prompts, which I really like over here. You can see that I read 10 50 before 50 books, 6 by the 100s, 1 quote, 3 rainbow, 1 queer alphabet, 3 adaptations, 2 buzzword, 2 ALDA, and 1 new release. So this should be the same every time, 2 buzzword, 2 ALDA, and 1 new release. But I like that the other ones are changing. And I did finish all my adaptations, but only 3 of them were books. The other ones were watching something. So anyway, we can see up here on our map that I have England and Ireland, and then I have Canada and the U.S. That, I think, is it for the places that the books were set, those 25 books I read. So hopefully other books will be set in other places that I already have picked out for August. We'll see. But then these are the states. I did Illinois, New York, North Carolina, California, and Washington. That's it. Those are the states. And then genres, lots of genres, which I didn't show you, but she has so many genres listed now that we can choose from. Look at all these genres. It's a little bit overwhelming. I'm like, I don't exactly know what kind of horror this is, or I don't know exactly what kind of whatever. For this one right here, Lights Out, I had to call it contemporary romance because dark romance is not in here as a genre. We have gothic fantasy and grimdark fantasy, but there's horror fantasy, horror romance, and horror thriller. It's not a horror romance. Like, it was definitely not horrifying. So, I don't know. That's where I am. Contemporary romance for that book, but there's so many genres. And then most of them were audio. 92% were audio. Even if I own the physical version of it, if I could get it on Libby on audio, I did it at the same, and I just counted it as audio if I did more audio than physical. But I did read a hardcover and an ebook, so that's how it all shapes out. It should be different than that in August. We should see some changes. This is what I really like is the series. So we can see 36% are in progress, 20% are now up to publication date, 20% also just started. I finished 4% of what I read, and 20% of my books were standalone. They were all new, no rereads this time. There will be some rereads in August. What? October? Most of my books are adult. Then I had 1 middle grade, 1 children's. I counted Peter Pan as a children's book, although there was so much death in there and killing of children. I don't know that it should have been a children's book. Whatever. That book was ridiculous. Most of what I read came from 2024, but there's a whole bunch of years in here. So I could use some of those for the last 10 years. I'm sure. I see a 2017, a 2020, 22, 23, 14. Does it go to 14? Maybe not. But there's a 16 as well and a 21. So I can probably do that for most of them if I go back and look at that. 1911 is the oldest. That was Peter Pan. Okay, finally last is the authors. And I think I'm really going to like to see this change. So right now, 2 Brandon Sanderson, 2 Kingfisher. Everybody else is tied up first place. Not first place. They're tied in last place with 1. So I know I'm reading 4 T. Kingfishers this month, and I'm also reading 3 or 4 Lexi Blakes in August. So these numbers are definitely going to be changing and shifting and moving around, and I think that's going to be exciting to look at. Okay, that is all of the stats over here. Okay, maybe I can be up here to get out of the way. So this is was my plan for 2025. So I did, for 2025, for July. Wow, I saw the 2025 on the screen. I did wheel spins, 5 of them, and I read all 5 of those books. I did a wheel spin for Her Kid, and I got the 100s and the adaptations, and I did all of those and finished all of them. I used the little fireworks because July, where I live, has fireworks a lot in the U.S. Okay, July specific 50 before 50 books that I did not read. There were 3 of them. I did not read the Karen Slaughter book. That would have finished out that series. I just hadn't read it. I didn't read it. I couldn't. You'll see the theme of why that didn't happen in just a second. But I also didn't read the next Jim Butcher, and I didn't read the next, who's in here? It's not Lady Hardcastle. Royal Spinus. Her Royal Spinus. Okay. So those. I didn't read those. I did everything else that I needed to do. I read my member book. It was fantastic. I read the Buzzword books, those 2 for Buzzword. Those are my 2 ALDA books and my new release book as well. This is all of them. I never went back and updated the page numbers, but you can see there are 4 things that I didn't read that was all over here. I had A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping along with The Enchanted Greenhouse as potentials for my new releases. So I didn't get to Innkeeping, and I was going to read it at the end of this month, but then I added it to my August TBR, so I was like, nope, I'm not going to read it. So those are the 4 books that I didn't read. 1 fantasy, 1 thriller, 2 mysteries, and this is why I didn't read them. 3 of them I could not readily get to be able to read. So either on audio or ebook or physical, I just couldn't get them without paying for them. And so I kept putting them off till the end of the month or till last, hoping that I would figure out a way to get them without having to pay for them. I don't want to have to buy books every month. These are all 50 before 50 books though, so I will pay for them because they are important to me to finish, but I just didn't do it this month. I decided July was going to be relaxing and chill, and so I didn't do it. This is my Buzzword. I did do technology and punctuation. I have with and transportation next month already picked out, good to go. This is my Adventures in Eldia. I read the 2 Teeth Kingfisher books, and then both of my girls are moving to 8D together, and I think I had to pick a book that has stars on it. I can't remember exactly what the prompt was, but I think it's stars on the cover. So in either way, in my August plans, I've got both of them already picked out. And then these are the books that I read for the TBR trail. I can get down here out of the way. And so I already read them. I submitted them. They're good to go. Some of these you'll realize are not from July, and that's because this started at the end of June. So a lot of these I read for Wonderthon, and so they were already done at the end of July, like 3 of them, I think. The end of June. So that's everything. That's how my July went. I had a great month, just being as relaxed as I possibly could. We got our stuff unpacked. I shouldn't say that I had a great month. I had a great reading month, but our household things were delayed for 10 days. We had to say goodbye to Skeeter, our little sweet 12-year-old puppy. And it was a lot at the beginning of July. The last part of July has been so nice, and just been trying to be relaxed and chill about the whole thing and get ready for August. So midnight tonight, I'm filming this on the 31st. It's coming out soon for my channel members, and I'm getting ready for midnight tonight to kick off August. I'm really excited about it, even though I'm also a little bit scared. Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, you're my favorite, and leave me some fireworks. I know one time I said leave explosions, and somebody was like, really, explosions? Fireworks, because my theme for July on my board was fireworks. Also, you can leave whatever kind of emoji you want. I also like when y'all leave me book emojis and heart emojis and all kinds. Just talk to me down below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.